everyone. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP Bangladesh. Greetings from the Institute of Global Profession IGP Bangladesh. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable Knowledge Seeker, today I am a host for the evening. And my name is Yarin Sakta Chaudhuri and I am from Bangladesh. Dear knowledge seekers, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. IGP and non-profit organization is a social and ISO certified international training institute. In 3 years, we already served 3 million knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 250 plus profession and 4,500 plus organizations. Instead of global professionals, IGP and ISO 9001 and 2015 and 10,002 2018 is the training faculty for skill development, which was found in 2020 in and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in the global labor market by providing professional qualification. The Institute of Global Professional is an educational institute that provides social work globally recognized and reputable. We serve student and country resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it is not effective to increase one's skill just by acquiring formal education. So, we provide effective training and consultation to generate profession generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, and internationally to students, job seekers, job holders, and also for learners through respective campus location and distance learning platforms. We are an occupational and dependable institution. IGP is one of the famous online universities from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product. It's part of our human rights based on our vision. We're trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminars, courses, awards, quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling aids. On the other side, we also trying to serve more than 100 premium services for free like create own portfolio of website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and wall knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge, which can upgrade all day. Kids learning game websites, free courses, converse sites, and many more. We have to empower youth to learn to meet their expectations and dreams and become highly skilled people. We implement several training programs, webinars, and offline online courses for youth and learners by professional trainers, speakers, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kinds of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities. To ensure excellent and in-depth instruction, we arrange with qualified trainers, speakers, and instructors. We extend free services to more than 3 million knowledge seekers in last 3 years. We have affiliation with universities and organizations in 70 different countries. Virtual MO signing with many colleges and organizations have been accomplished. We are working to create a legendary generation of future scholars and citizens who will be accountable. We are constantly prepared to assist all knowledge seekers with valuable service. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professional. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and we serve them with good research and practice methods. We must have a genuine concern for the learners we represent. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective, best quality service and continuous improvements so that individual who seeks information can improve their skill levels and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to tag, share, and mention your friends in the comment box. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to tag, share, and mention your friend in the comment box. And your support is very valuable to us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,136 webinars successfully. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,136 webinars successfully. At present, we are going to start our 1,137, and our program name is Biomedicine Potential Bio from non-edible plants for food security. Uh, and our today speaker name is Muhammad Akshan Vigar MSc. He is from Indonesia. Before I hand over the stage to Sir, I want to share a very little about our speaker. He is researcher and active lecturer in the vocational teaching and agriculture engineering at University Muhammadiyah Shidreng, Rapang, Indonesia. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Hello, sir.
Hello, good
How,
evening,
sir?
mom.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Yes, I'm pretty good. Indonesia now it's the evening, then I think in Bangladesh should be the same. All right.
Yes, sir. Just a 1 hour difference.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Should I
Uh,
proceed now?
yes. Yeah. You can start and you can start your presentation, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. So, as the host already introduced myself, so I don't need to mention again. As you can see on the screen, that I'm going to bring the topic about bionematicide. It's about potential biopesticide. But if you're talking about bionematicide, it's going to be very broad. That's why I'm going to focus only on the biopesticide, specifically non-edible plants, because I think food security is really important to be upholding. And now move to the next slide. Uh, Talking about nematodes, if you read on the slide that there is a or pictures, that's nematode actually. And you have to understand that if it is bionematicide, it's something that's really important to be made, because nematode nowadays is it's become a part of the crop protection. And then before I go for that biopesticide, I'm going to give a brief explanation about what is nematodes and how they live, and then how can we control them. We say that nematodes have a brains, of course. I think every living organism has that kind of nerve system, and of course they can think, they learn, they have a memory. So nematodes also, not all are plant parasitic. So today, even I'm going to talk about plant parasitic, but also I'm going to talk about some how can I say that, beneficial nematodes. But here I already show you one of them. Is that you can see that's Galleria melonia, which is infected by the juveniles of the entomopathogenic nematodes, which is showing to you that nematodes also is very beneficial uh, to be known. And then moving to the next slide. What's nematode actually? Nematode is a microscopic roundworm in the phylum Nematoda. You know, as a biologist, for example, you should know that there are some parts of phylum. Then nematode, it's a phylum Nematoda, and it consists of three classification based on they are living. Uh, some of them living in marine or oceanic, and or also freshwater nematodes. As you can see, the head region is so beautiful. So that's a worm actually, but it's really really nice. You can see it's kind of like flowers, and it's so beautiful. And you can see the spiral armpits actually, as I told you before, that they can think, they can learn, so they can use it to detect, for example, predator, or detect even food, for example, like that. So that's for marine nematodes. Moving to free living nematodes, Basically, free living nematode is really useful, as mentioned before. Apart from EPN, entomopathogenic nematode, there is also like nematodes living in the soils. For example, free living nematodes. For example, chroma, Dorilemidae, which is some of them very big, some of them very small, but they can be used as the soil indicators, like the environmental pollutions. This is kind of very interesting as well. But today I'm going to talk about plant parasitic nematodes controlling. That's why I'm going to make a biopesticide to control them. As you can see, there are a lot of, maybe it's not really visible on the screen, but I can mention some of them. For example, melodogyne in rice, for example, heterodera, and also talenculus, some of them to attack banana, or some of, for example, capsicum, let's say, of spices, and also criconematoides, and etc. Well, Philonematoda, if you go to for classification or taxonomical, you can see, if you want to focus to the plant parasite in nematodes, you can see the clade 12, clade 11, and clade 10. Here, actually, you can see Telencomorpha with their characteristics. And if you see, for example, the picture of this plant, it means that the trophic ecology where they are living, it can be plant parasites. But plant parasitic nematodes, client actually can be fungivore, animal parasite, and entomopathogenic, as I mentioned before. But clade 9 to the clade 3 to the clade 1, for example, it can be free living nematodes and also marine nematodes. But I don't want to talk too much on this, because I'm going to talk more how to control them later on. It's just a brief explanation. So for those who coming here new, they don't know about nematodes. This is a really a good moment you to know about nematodes. Well, free living and plant parasites. What's the obvious differences between two? Actually, why I focus to showing this kind of like a uh, spinner. It's styled. So it's a kind of like, maybe some of you talking how they attack the plant itself, and because before you control, you have to know how they can attack the plants. So these stylets can penetrate to the how can I say it, to the, for example, branch, to the epidermis of the branch of the plants itself, and then it's already constructed on the body of plant parasite nematodes. But unlike to the free living nematodes, as you see, this is actually not a stylet, but it's just like elongation of the parent itself. So this one is similar, but they are different. They looks like structurally the same, but they are functionally different. As you can see, even this one doesn't have just pharynx, but they can fit bacteria, then alga, kind of like that. So that's the brief explanation, the difference between them. And then go to the morphological diversity. So if you go further to the pharynx, why is it important? Because that's the moment actually they can suck the nutrient from the plant itself, or even from the bacteria, how they actually digest their food. Let's say if they are predator, they can eat they I mean the other nematode, which is more inferior than them. For example, Mononchida, as you can see, is really big, and also omnivore. They can eat both. They can eat, for example, nematodes. At the same time, they can eat bacteria. They can eat plant itself, and also predator. Predator. It's here. It's kind of like you can see that the structure of tooth-like. Again, I say this is not kind of stylet, but it's just like a structure of pharynx, but looks like teeth itself. It's really interesting to know about predators, because, of course, some of nematodes can be used as a, how can I say that, biocontrol. And also plant parasite. Plant parasite here, they have a stylet, as I mentioned before. This is one of the shape of the stylet or tooth of the nematodes. But this is also kind of like stylet, but it's just very small. Sorry, very small. And also this one is very long. And this is longitudinal, like the name longitudinal. Long in English means like, uh, So it's really easy sometimes to identify this kind of this nematode. But again, because this is microscopic creatures, microorganisms, so you have to observe them under the electron microscope, kind of like that. And also this fungifor basically they have, you see this really long pharynx without teeth, but they have a medium valve which is very big because they want to put that fungi over there inside of then they can digest later. So they are really beautiful. They have a different how they can eat or penetrate to the plants or eat their how can I say, the prey. Okay. Well, let's move to the plant parasitic nematodes. If you're talking about plant parasitic nematode, I already explained to you that they have a stylus. It's really clear here, as I mentioned before. Stylus over here. Then they have a leaf region, which is the penetrations could start, but there is also tail. But if you go this, it's not as such really complex as human body, of course. But of course, as I mentioned before, they can think. That's why they have a nerve ring because that's the center of their nerve. And also of course they can do secretory, excretory, and they can reproduce, propagate. Nematodes not only like can do reproductive by mating, but they can also in mating. For example, they can be a hermaphrodite. Like only one, for example, C. elegans, they can be hermaphrodite. They don't need to mating, but they can just simply because they have two genitals, kind of genital from female and male. So that's exactly they name it hermaphrodite, kind of like that. And then if you go further, for example, under electromicroscopy, then you can see that inside of this is really complex again, but you will have it when you join, join a nematology course, then you can really understand how they look like under microscope or under stem itself. And if you there's some of you asking about what is nematode looks like under microscope, like this is a live nematodes. I can't really identify when they are like this. For example, we can identify, maybe some of people, if they have a really good sights or of a good observer, and then I think they can really easily say, okay, but you've seen the stylet, but again, they need to be fixed. I mean, of course, you make it, you make them die, and then you fixate them. Then you can observe under uh, microscope itself. I think I'm going to talk in another course someday. Well, PPN, plant parasitic nematode in crop protections. Why this is very important to control plant parasitic in crop protection? Because basically it's affected the food crops itself. Nematodes cause 5 to 20% of yield decline globally, then equal to a net loss of 2 or 7% in crop-based food. And I think this is very important to know as well that there are four major genera, or we say the most economically important nematodes from PPN or plant parasite, which is Melodogine, Ratilanchus, Ditilanchus, and Teratodera, based on Caribasapha et al. But we acknowledge as a nematologist that, of course, they are really important nematodes, important to control, but not important to preserve, because some of them need to preserve, some of them need to be killed. And then here, as you can see, the structure body of Melodorgan genera, male and female, which is the left one is uh is the male one, and the female one it's kind of like bulbing, but inside of them there are some of eggs and also juveniles. We name it the small nematodes as the juveniles in Melodorgan genera is really dangerous, because especially for juveniles, because they can move, but the female, they just can be inside of the roots. That's why then looks like this. How can I say that? Swollen the roots, and instead of that, you can find this, and this one's the same. It's the same. So instead of this thousands, millions of eggs over there, and they can explode. They can really expel out of the eggs, and they're starting to crawling and then attack the roots. They are really small, but when they are in a community, they are really dangerous. That's the thing that we should know. This is pictures I think from internet, of course, but I know this is infected roots by melodogine. And then also the other one, if any one of you notice this, this is actually uh, melodogine of Graminicola, which is affected to the rice plantation, especially the roots. Now, of course, you can see the rice, it's really unhealthy. So this is the things that really important to understand the life cycle of nematodes as well before you control them. And also another Pratilencus genera. If you guys, of course, we are as a tropical country. Banana is really famous in it's every tropical country. It's really it's kind of like high. How can I say that? High consume commodity commodity in our for example, in Indonesia, maybe also in Bangladesh. If you see banana like this, means that they are affected by Pratilencus genera. They name it borrowing nematodes. They suffer. I mean, the root is suffer and finally getting black and also rotten. And finally, they just simply falling down, and also in the spice, let's say chili, they can suffer the roots. So Pratilencus go to the stems. Also, they can go to the roots to attack. So this is a morphological under the microscope. You see the stylets because they are parasitic nematodes. And yeah, and this is another nematodes, Ditilencus genera. You see this the Ditilencus genera is quite long, and then basically this Ditilencus genera uh, could attack onion, for example. They go to the roots and they make it swollen and they got threatened. And this is one of the example also when the Tilinkus genera go to inside. You can clearly see the nematode inside of these cells. So you see uh, the process. This is outside of the how can I say that the branch. But if you go uh, after exposure with the editidium bromide, and you can see yes, this is a nematode. It's really small, by the way. But then what about if they are female? They can like put their eggs there and then they can propagate. Become a problem. As you can see from this mole, then become this and this, and becoming a broken cells. And then if you go further, then you can see clearly the nematode. It can be a female, already like mature. Well, no, go to our discussion about bionematicides. As I mentioned before, that we are not going to focus really about bionematicide only, but we going to focus on biopesticide. Why? Because uh, in my research and in my thinking that actually environmental things is really important part to be preserved, because we do believe that actually like today food security, why then the food security is really important to be upholded, because like sustainable development goals want to try to make a zero hunger, but then using biopesticide, for example, allium cephas, garlic, and everything, which is actually is meant to be a food. And this is kind of analysis or kind of a phenomenon that I'm going to, how can I say, it, just suppress, just to change the paradigm of the people, just try to explore non-edible source of the biopesticide itself. Because why? Uh, Again, it's all about sustainable agriculture. If it's something sustainable, then it's really good for a longevity of the life itself. And because in the end, we are going to give a better food or the best food for human being. We are going to preserve the human being in the end of the day. So what is an nematicide actually before we're talking about bio? So nematicides or nematicides basically is a chemical agents used to control parasitic worms such as roundworms, on threadworms, of course nematodes. As you can see, there is plant extract and there is also bacterium. If you're talking bionematicides, you're talking all of them. So You're talking about fungi, bacterium, and also like ingredients from the plant. But if you're talking about biopesticide, let's say botanical pesticide, you're talking about plant extracts. So I'm going to focus on this, right? And then biopesticide are certain types of pesticides which is made from natural material as animals, plants, bacteria, and certain minerals. So plants is in here as well. So I'm going to focus on that. Then why biopesticide and food security could has relationship? What happened actually? First of all, let's just talking about the world populations. Today in 2022, 8 billion people need to feed. And apart from climate change itself, and of course, climate change also affected the nematode itself and biodiversity. And then that's the moment actually we're losing biodiversity. And of course, sometimes we experience the farmers have intensity and probability to fail in their harvesting, of course, like of in this area there is no availability enough of food with utilization access and stability that make them unsecure and on their food. That's why we are going to create a food security. And what's the relationship between biopesticide and food security? We go to the next slide. Well, before go for that, why this is really important to control the nematode itself? Because when you see the crop losses by pest and pathogens, you can see it's really obvious that weeds 28% is as the highest, and then insect. But when you go to crop losses by plant pathogens, then you see that nematodes it 13%. Even it's the least, don't underestimate that, because it can be very how can I say that it can be very contagious. I can say like virus, for example, 18%. It's because of what I already mentioned before, that it's all about community. Nematode is small, microscopic, but they can be communal. When they are communal, they can attack together, and they can really suffer the plants, specifically, for example, the plant which is susceptible. That's why then there is a technical also a way to control nematode. Let's say a technical agronomy. Then you can go for it. So this biopesticide can be also hand in hand or combination between technical in agronomy and also like making botanical extract and to apply to the nematodes itself. For example, potato cyst nematodes. You can of course do it. And also fungi, it's a really high, so it's obvious, right? Then sustainable development goals, I already mentioned before. We are going to achieve zero hunger. We are going to also achieve good health and well-being. In the end of the day, the residue of the chemical pesticide is something very dangerous for the human being itself. We all agree that something organic it's more apprehend than chemical things, because we are really afraid of residue itself. And I'm going to explain it in details by the end of this explanation of these slides. And another things like life online. So when you're talking about nematodes, so you're talking about the ecosystem, you're talking about ecology itself. That is why then biopesticide as the part of the integrated pest management is really it's really playing important role in order to create sustainability in agriculture, in order to provide last longer food for the human being, in order to achieve of course the food security. And here the potential actually that we can see how then biopesticides and their categories against various pests. Yes, it's against various pests. Well, I don't want to focus on up of arthropods because people from plant pathology will know about that. Uh, Especially for these weeds, I can say that actually uh, biopesticides from weeds can be used to control some of the bacteria, fungi, virus, and another things, for example, botanical, to control this kind of these weeds. But if you go to nematodes, you can see here like some of nematodes they can be controlled, right? So basically, biopesticides is really broad range you can use. But then why edible and non-edible plants for biopesticides? Well, again, edible plants it means that its consumption as a food source. We don't want this kind of this food, for example, onion, garlic, to be used to control the nematodes that much, because we are going at the same time we are going to eat it. That's why we are going to explore more to non-edible plants. This is I think it's really potential to do so. It's because if it is non-consumptive, for example, weeds, grass, and etc., of course, some of, for example, livestock can use it as the sort of food, for example. But I think it's not the main idea. The things is that we there is a potential to create biopesticide or botanical pesticides from weeds or grass. Some of people already did research to that, but it's not that much. We need to do research more on it. Why? Because we believe, and best it's already proven valid, that uh, as long as they have nematicidal properties, then I think they can be a source of the organic, let's say, botanical pesticides to control nematodes. And this is just like a capture I got from one of the journals. They already like compare like ratio of ingredients or nematotoxic of the several plants, but some of them actually non-edible, some of them actually it's edible. For example, Allium cepaonia, of course I don't go for it, but if you see, for example, Azadirachta indica leaves, for example, it's really quite high, 5.5. This is why I say that this is really potential. Well, some people say, Look at that turmeric. Turmeric is spices. Is a for food. It is very nice for food. But again, if you have any choice between 5.5 and also 6, of course you have to go for 5.5, because we are going to go for something that's not for human consumption. We want to use non-edible things like, people they don't eat it, for example, grass and everything. So that's the other why I want the reason why I show these slides. Well, talking about nematicidal weeds, this is actually the main point why I deliver this presentation. Well, talking about weeds, of course, it's a kind of how can I say, organisms disturbance, in crop protection. We don't want it because it's giving a competition between plants to absorb the nutrients. So as long as they have asteres, composite, fabaceae, brassicae families, they are belongs to them, then it's okay to be used. And then as long as they have these active ingredients, then they can use for nematicidal compounds. I mean, they have nematicidal compounds that can be used as a biopesticide. For example, glucosinolates, saponins, limonoids, terpenes, essential oils, and polyphenols and everything. You can explore in any kinds of wheat itself. This is why then this is going to be really sustainable, because at the same time we can use the extract from these weeds, but at the same time we can also remove them from the nutrients competition during the growing seasons, for example. Okay, what's the mode of action of the active ingredient basically? Uh, I just find it target erecta. Target erecta actually is non-able. Nobody want to eat this. Even the smell is very bad, I could say. But they can control nematodes because it can inhibit hatching, larva toxicity, structural modification, mortality. So actually, it's really block. For example, potato seed nematode. It's really possible to extract this target erecta. This is kind of flower actually, and then it's growing well in the hot area. And then what is the mode of action? Could be repellent. Repellent because of the smell. Maybe the nematode don't like it. But of course, toxin and contact. If it is toxin, then of course the mortality is going to be high. And also growth regulation could be a growth regulation as well. Well, this is example of the paper that they use Solanum nigrum, Datura stramonium. Maybe some of you guys who watching this webinar, they can notice that actually, yes, maybe you say, oh, I have this in my at home. For example, you can use it as a biopesticide to control nematodes. But before you control the nematode, you have to observe the symptoms. Are they attacked by nematodes, or are they attacked by the insect, for example? So that's the kind of the thing is also as a nematologist, somehow, because we our jobs actually to prove that, oh, it's because of nematodes. Can be similar with the virus, can be similar with the attack by fungi, can be like that, for example, because can sometimes in crop protections, um how can I say, disease and pests can associate with nematodes, because nematodes pathogens, they can like work together. That is why, again, as a nematologist, I really highly recommended you to, how can I say, collaborate to another researcher, for example, agronomist and also crop protectionist. So yeah, I'm going to share a little bit about my experience when I was in Kenya when I did my master. Uh, Related to the biopesticide itself. I was in Kalo, which is agriculture ministry. Then I did some of experiment, I could say, but it's actually partially of the Carlo itself. And what I did actually, I tried to recruit some of plants edible or non-edibles. Then I tried to fermented them, then I try to apply to control or suppress cyst nematode. But then here actually I just want to test them in the egg, and how then egg itself can crush, and then uh, the juveniles, as I show you here, you see like this is one egg and then content of millions of juveniles. And then you know that because in Kenya, as an African, one of the main let's say staple food there, it's potato, so they like to eat potatoes, as well as in Europe, because I did my master in at Gen University, which is agro environmental nematology. Of course, I did internship here. And then the result of this botanical pesticide effect is really interesting, because finally I can found that all botanical pesticide, which is we already being observed here, is basically can kill the nematodes, but there are some of them which is really obvious, which is really giving a significant effect. As I say here, actually all botanical pesticides were found to be significantly effective after incubate them 24 hours. So the eggs actually can crush, and then we can see the egg, a lot of egg there. And another, after subjective sits for 24 hours, and it's shown difference response. It means that every uh plants here, or a part of plants, leaves, roots, and everything should be categorized, because this is just a screening. I will say that this is kind of screening or experimental. Then most of them destroy the eggs more than 50%. It means that it's good, right? It has high efficacy. uh but sodium, apple, and also ginger here is quite low. It means that the contents of the nematicidal compounds is really low here. So that's the things that maybe kind of like knocked it. I mean, like giving you the insight in the future if you want to create, make such a formula. And also combination between onion and also 50% film is considered as the best efficacy. Well, again, I would say that actually, uh, most probably people say, what about if we combine between chemical and non-chemical? I didn't really recommend that, because of course you still use 50% vellum, which is one of the how can I say that, commercial nematicides, fabrics. And I would say not. I don't. I don't. Even this is best efficacy, but I don't go for it, because I think again, if you want to go for organic, of course, you can leave inorganic simply, but you need a process to go for it. So just do it slowly. You can make it. And as the experiment outcome again, after 48 hours or 2 days subjected with botanical pesticide, all treatment successfully destroyed eggs. Again, three treatment destroy 100% eggs, as you can see. Onion leaves, well, it's edible. Tagete minuta, this is the same as I mentioned before, tagete, and also onion and velo. But you can see they are 100%. Of course, I go for tagete minuta and also onion leaves. But because this is edible, I don't go for it. I go for this tagete minuta. I think it's really, really a good finding. Then all of you guys outside there, you can explore more weeds, because if you go publication, for example, Journal of Nematology, Crop Protection, you didn't see much people go for weeds or something like that. Then I do believe that the diversity of weeds all over, I mean, from the big continents, I think specifically Indonesia, we can find a lot of many weeds you can explore for, because they contains many, not maybe not only nematicidal but insecticides, fungicide, and everything. So at the same time you can explore more. And then again, after 72 hours subjected with body pesticide, and now it's successfully destroyed X close to 100%. This is really, really a remarkable finding I found at that time, even just experiment. Then I say, oh my God, this is really, really remarkable experience. Then I should go for it. Until now, I'm still doing to explore. Yeah, that's in the future. In the near future, I will go for it. So, but I say that no significant different amount treatment, because yeah, the things is, the longer you expose to the lethal 50%, the more efficacy you will be figuring out. Okay, the general conclusion from that experiment, I will say that all botanical pesticides were effective against PC and X as compared to the control. Control here, of course, water. We don't put anything, but control also volume. But you see, on the graph that is the lowest itself. And then the efficacy of botanical pesticide versus ads can already been seen after 24 hours. So it means that this is also very important when they are really fast release, because some of botanical pesticide is really, really slow. Then you have to make it very intense. I will explain it later in one of the slides. And then the highest mortality after 72 hours of exposure period, while the lowest mortality after 24 hours of the exposure period. So the conclusion that the longer the exposure of botanical pesticide, the higher efficacy effects. So that's what I found from this research actually, that you have to put the longer. So it means that if you want to put the longer, you have to create such mechanisms that can make the botanical pesticide compound can stick on leaves, for example. And here, also, I recommend that the trials should be repeated to ascertain the result. I mean, what I mean by here, like you can't do it in the field, because this laboratory experiments, you have to really prove it uh, in the field to really compare that, not only in greenhouse, but you can also do it in a real plantation, for example, potato plantation. Well, why then biopesticide is really important. So that's the question that we should know. That of course is less toxic because that's organic, and then conventional pesticide. And the second of all, it's affect only the target pest. Of course, it's only, for example, targeted melodogan, or to potato seeds, nematodes, or pratylenkes, kind of like that. So this is really important because it probably, when you use the chemical compounds, it's really kill all the uh, micro or macroorganism which is surrounded them. Sorry. And then I think it's not good because some of them actually a natural enemy of the pest itself. And when when we kill them, of course we stop. How can I say that we disturb the life cycle of the in natural enemies itself, and that's not good for the sustainability. All right. And of course, in integrative pest management, it's something that we really recommend to use, how can I say that, to utilize the natural enemy itself. And also another very uh, positive things from the biopesticide is effective in every small quantities, and often decompose quickly. So it's good because if you use chemical itself, it's really how can I say, it's a fast release, but they also can stick to the land, for example, to the leaf itself. And then of course it polluted the environment, and it of course when an environment get polluted, it will never be good for human being. And also it's a component of EPM, integrated pest management. Then that this is a very important things to know, that botanical pesticide, for example, can maintain crop yields remain high. Why? It's because actually they can reduce the pest itself, nematodes, but at the same time, they can also create a good macro ecosystems, they can create a good ecology, macro ecology, in the resource sphere, for example, in the root system. I mean, so this is kind of a very very nice to notice in this course. And then if you compare between synthetic pesticide, I already explained to you that it's related to the outcome, to the human health itself. And something about market access as well. If it is botanical pesticide, it means your product is organic. So many people they want it today. So many people campaign about a healthy life. Of course, if you want to go for a healthy life, try to avoid, for example, food which is sprayed by inorganic uh, pesticide, because you know that there will be like some residues toxic to non-target humans and everything. That's not good for our body. And then I think it's the same explanation of I mentioned before. I think by just simply seeing this attaining efficacy, mode of action, application, we can see that some of the weaknesses of botanical pesticide, but I would say it's not the as much as the bad side effect from synthetic pesticides. So I really recommend botanical pesticides as the way to protect the environment and also protect the human being. So I think that's enough for now. Then I hope it's giving you some insight. So for now, I giving back to the host. If there are any questions about this, maybe it's quite long to explain this, and it's too much maybe for you. It's quite heavy maybe, but yeah, I'm happy to share this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. I hope after your presentation, our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seeker. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, it's time for our question answer session, which is one more valuable part of our regular webinars. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we'll come back again in our question answer session. Okay, sir?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Uh, Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have bonus certification and online quiz competition. After a short video, we'll come back again. So please stay with us. কাজ একটা দিছিল না ওইটার পর আমি অ্যাড করি। হ্যাঁ ডিরেক্ট কই চলে গেছে। এখন আমাদের once once again, welcome back everyone. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Uh, Welcome back, sir.
Yeah.
Our first question from Shravik. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sir Mohammad Afsan. How do we know if a soil has nematodes? What is the biological importance of nematodes?
Okay, thank you very much, Flomi Regual Salpiejo. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. But by the way, your question is quite interesting. Yes, if the soil has a nematodes, actually, as I mentioned before, I already classify, if you remember one of the slides from my presentation, and I already explained about free-living nematodes. Uh, how do we know actually again because that's because with this microorganism, let's say nematodes, free-living nematodes is really small, so you have to doing sample either for single sample or bulk sample, then you can observe under microscope, but you have to of course also first rinse that, like you separate soils and also nematode itself, so it has the tools to make it let's say nematode extraction. And what's the biological importance of nematodes? As I mentioned before, biological importance of nematodes, for example, it is very good for soil health indicators. So, for example, if you live in nematodes, if you see some pre-living, because parasitic nematodes associated with nematodes as a host, but then free-living nematodes, they can live everywhere, let's say in the soil. Then I think biological importance, of course, as a soil indicators. And then, as I mentioned before, if you see some of I mean, maybe in the simple way that a community in certain genera, for example, Dorilemidae, or uh, another free living which is dominated with the pollution itself. So it means that it's really showing biological importance of nematode itself. So nematode itself can be classified based on they are living, and they can be functioning based on they are living. So I hope this can answer your question. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Dear participant, we are waiting for your question. If you have any question, you can ask in our comment box. Our speaker will answer those questions. Dear participant, we are still waiting, so please everyone ask your question. We are waiting for your question. I think that there is no more question. You will cover all the topics, so our viewers will know no question. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topics. It will add some value to our day to activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable sir, hope to see you again with a new topic and with a new date.
Okay.
Thank you again and take
So
care.
okay, thank you very much. Thank you for IGP to giving this opportunity. Thank you. Good evening. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Or IGP Knowledge Seeker is time for our webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. IGP Knowledge Seeker. It's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of a regular webinar. After a short video, let's start our with the certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition quiz certification. Stay with us. We will come back again. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for our webinar certification process. Today, our program webinar topic name is Bionematicide Potential Biopesticide from Non-Edible Plants for Food Security. And the code is IGP 5470, and the code is IGP 5470. Without code, no one is eligible for certificate. Without code, no one is eligible for code. And with code, you can claim your certificate anytime. With code, you can claim your certificate anytime. And today, our code is IGP 5470. Code is IGP 5470. How to claim your certificate? First, you have to go www.eduigp.com. First, you have to go www.eduigp.com. Then you have to click sign in and then log in if you are already have an account, or create new account if you are new. Once logged in, click free webinars and select the webinar title. And today our webinar title is Bionematicide, and click continue courses and get enrolled if you have not enrolled yet, and type the code. And today our code is IGP 5470. IGP 547 Zero. Click get your certificate. It is auto downloadable in PDF file already. Just check it in your file manager or download folder. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the most engaging part. After short video will go our online quiz competition. To join our online quiz competition, first you have to go www.eduigp.com. First you have to go www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is IGP3. And the code is IGP3. After short video, will come back again. In the meantime, everyone join with us and don't forget to mention your friends. Dear participant, welcome back in our quiz session. If you want to join our quiz session, first you have to go slido.com, then you have to enter the code. And the code is IGP3. And the code is IGP3. Already 29 people joined with us. To join our quiz session, now time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Go to www.slido.com and find today's quiz and scan this QR code for direct joining. And quiz code is IGP3 and quiz code is IGP3. Please join the slide with code and code is IGP3. Uh, We'll pick your name from Slido, so join with your full name, which will directly print on certificates. And top 10 top 10 will be awarded with quiz comprehension certificates. Top 10 will be awarded with quiz comprehension certificates. Already 30 people joined with us. We are still waiting for your joining. So please everyone join in our question answer quiz session. And don't forget to mention your friends to join our quiz session. Please everyone join with us. We are waiting for your joining. So please everyone join. To join our quiz session, first you have to go www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code and the code is IGP3 and the code is IGP3.
صلاة والسلام عليك سيدي يا رسول الله. صلاة والسلام عليك سيدي يا حبيب الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك سيدي يا
Dear participant, please join our quiz session. To join our quiz session, first you have to go www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code and the code is IGP3 and the code is IGP3. Already 34 people joined with us. Already 34 people join with us. We are waiting for your joining. So please everyone join and don't forget to mention your friends to join our quiz session. Top 10 will be awarded with our quiz competition certificates. And please join your full name since it's put your certificate. So please join with your full name. We are participate. We are waiting for your joining. To join our quiz session, first you have to go www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is IGP3. Already 36 people joined with us. We are still waiting for more. So please everyone join. And to join our quiz session, first you have to go www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is IGP3. And the code is IGP3. Already we have Edwin Parpa, Flomir Salvio, Ricky Arcolima, Annalita Quater, then we have Michelle Tarashina, then we have Dr. Albert, then we have Carmela, then we have Kartika, then we have Mary Bud, then we have Muhammad Nasiruddin, then we have Dennis Guinto, then we have CG and Ausila, then we have Indira, then we have Jamilian V. Rivera, then we have Christian Real Oriendo, then we have Enelita Quater, then we have Alex Jaber. We are still waiting. Already 40 people joined with us. Now we'll start our quiz session. So please everyone be ready. Our first question is disease carried by mosquitoes that can infect crops and potential kill humans. Option 1 malaria and West Nile virus. Second option is Ebola and AIDS. Option our first question is disease carried by mosquitoes that can impact crops and potential kill humans. Is it option 1 malaria and West Nile virus, and second option is Ebola and AIDS? And the correct answer is malaria and West Nile virus, and 91% people are right. And the top one is Evelyn, then we have Dennis, then we have Alex. Now we go for our second long question, and the question is Bacillus thuringiensis VT is a type of biopesticide bacteria found in the soil. It was manufactured in a lab. Is it false or true? What is the correct answer for this question? We have only 5 seconds. Please answer that question. And the correct answer is option 2, true, and 68% people are right. And our top one is Juelis and Jordan. Then we have Jordan. Then we go for our third non question. Clients come to counselors for what reason? Option 1 for financial assistance, and second option is to solve a problem they can't solve themselves. Option 1 for financial assistance, and second option is to solve a problem they can't solve themselves. And the correct answer is option 1 for financial assistance, and 60% people are right. And the top one is, you can see that Julius I. Abuso, then we have CG and Oscilla, then we have Christian, then in fourth position we have Jordan, then in fifth position we have Dennis going to Sirso. Now we go for a fourth now question, and the question is the creation of what institution was called for by the Atlantic Charter? Is it option 1, the World Court, and second option is the United Nations? What is the correct answer for this question? And the correct answer is option 2, the United Nations, and 47% people are right. And the top one is Julius, and then we have Leah. Now we go for our fifth long question. India has a permanent system for its national government and system based on the US government. Option 1, federal. Second option, combination of dictatorial communist socialist. And the correct answer is option 1, federal, and 58% people are right. And the top one is Evelyn. Now we go for our sixth question, and the question is what leader served as a sort of role model for Hitler? Option 1, Mahatma Gandhi. Second option is Mussolini. And now, can we face the technical problem? And the correct answer is option 2, and 70% people are right. And then we can see that the top one is Evelyn. Then in second position we have CGANN or Sila. Now we go for our seventh question, and the question is superior to the Europeans. What group used Africa as a source for slaves? Is it option 1, Muslim? Second option is Chinese. And the correct answer is Muslim, and 58% people are right. And the top one is Danish going to Sirso. Then we can see that Jewelers. Then we can see CG and Osila. Then we can see Mary. Now we go for eighth question, and the question is Europeans did all of this, which have created problems for modern African nations except option 1 believe that they had a legacy to civilize Africans. Second option is sold all of their old missionary to Africans, increasing that David. And the correct answer is sold all of their old missionary to Africans, increasing David, and 49% people are right. And the top one is jewelers. Then we can see the Danish. Then we can see Mary. The ninth question is what event prompted Gandhi to actively work for Indian independence? Is it option 1, the Amritsar massacre? And second option is Russian Revolution. The correct answer is option 1, and 58% people are right. And last question is the post war trial of the Nazi German leadership for war crimes was the option Berlin Conference and option Nuremberg trials. And the correct answer is option 2, Nuremberg trials, and 71% people are right. Congratulations, Julius A. Avuzo. He's our top one. Then we have, in second position, we have Danis Guento. In third position, we have Mary Grace. In fourth position, we have Alex Javar. And fifth position, we have Gian Paketi Sarmosi. Congratulations, our top 10 quiz competition winner. We have all of your name which you entered during joining. We'll post them, pick and prepare certificate, and we'll post them on our Facebook official page. Our Facebook official page is Institution of Global Professional. Once again, congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winner top 10. From slide will take a few minutes for finalizing the result, and after that we'll issue our online quiz competition certificate on our Facebook official page and group. And our group and page is Institution of Global Professional. At the end moment of our session, we can say properly, feed your skill. Never stop learning cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit the end live button again, wants to thanks to all IGP knowledge seeker for your active participation as always. See you in our next session. Thank you everyone. Stay happy and blessed and take care.